humans hallucinate. So even with a very
I was just
powerful
gonna, I was
brain,
just gonna say that, Chris. Like, I mean, you want these models to hallucinate. That's the whole fucking point.
yeah,
Uh,
because it,
I
it, it
think
leads
that
I
to
mean, that
something
is what
else.
this is. Yeah, exactly.
I think that there may be like the thing that you're saying. It sounds to me like you're saying you want AI models to come up with creative solutions.
Not only that, it's like the not creative solutions. It's the things that we can't even imagine. And it's good for these models to hallucinate because let's say, okay, I wanted to build me a architect design for the next White House, and it goes, what if we built the White House underground fully? For an example, something that we never thought of. And then it's like, oh shit, why didn't we never think of that? Even though it's a hallucination, could be a very good idea or lead to prominent stems of data where you can use these different branches of hallucinations to expand on your main plan.
I'm shaking my head. This is a misuse of hallucinations in AI.
Why is
Hallucinations
it a
are
misuse,
inherently
Albie?
bad. Hmm?
Why are they bad, Albie?
Because hallucinations is making shit up. And you don't want AI to make shit up. You want it to give you things like the idea that you can build something underground, as Chris mentioned. That should
Every
not be from a hallucination, but it should be from the intelligence.
Well, the
Hallucination is not
hallucinations are
intelligent.
from intelligence. Just because it's
No, no.
hallucinating doesn't mean it's bad. Hallucination,
Yes,
the term hallucination
hallucination
doesn't mean
is bad.
bad output. It doesn't.
It does. It does.
That's opinion.
It's
Yeah, I think
not. It's
that's a really,
fact.
really big opinion, Albie.
It's fact. It's
Pretty strong one.
scientific fact. We measure hallucinations because we're identifying a problem with the AI. Tell me I'm wrong.
You are wrong.
Okay.
You're
That's
like you're
okay.
just
You can tell me I'm
you're
wrong.
covering a portion of it. There's certain applications where you want the model to be totally precise, and, you know, and not quote unquote hallucinate. But it's how do you say? It, innately that's what it does. I mean, if
AI
you give it a
halluc.
block of text and it comes out with 5 words specifically for what you need, it's sort of like a hallucination in the sense it was able to go through this text and interpret it and come up with that
No,
in the
I'm
way
not
that
going
you
to answer.
wanted.
Okay, so listen. AI hallucination refers to the phenomenon where artificial intelligence, particularly, in particular, large language models or computer vision systems, generate or perceives patterns, objects, or information that do not exist or are inaccurate in real life. These outputs can appear logical or correct but contain falsehoods or inaccuracies. And some examples are false data generation, misinterpretation of data, lack of contextual understanding, which doesn't mean it's wrong, irrelevant, or incorrect, or overfitting, where an AI model is overly trained on a specific data set, it might start to see patterns that are not there, like associating irrelevant features, like hospital logos or scans, with the presence of a disease, which again does not mean that it's making all this stuff up and it's going off the rails. It just means it can hallucinate but also generate output that may or sometimes not be correct, but it can be reliable on its own.
I'm
Bars.
dying on this hill, Chris.
Well, let's put the hill back down. Go down the hill.
Have you used Ali? Have you used Chat? You've used ChatGPT, I imagine, right? The real time convo.
ChatGPT, just the AI, just on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. You've
yeah,
spoken to it, right?
What's
yeah.
ChatGPT? Can you tell me what ChatGPT is?
ChatGPT is everything that's mainstream right now. Yes, I have basically used ChatGPT 5 out of 7 days of the week for the last I don't know, last year, whatever.
Okay. And so when you're talking with it and you're giving it ideas, and then you ask it to look at this and come back with what it thinks. And then it comes back with what it thinks with ideas that you just fed it. Ideas that may potentially have been unique to your mind, or have very little examples of such articulated ideas around the world. That is a hallucination that it's providing you as an answer, is it not? By the very nature of the question, since you've asked a unique question or a almost unique question that it can not possibly have had examples of answers to. So by definition, it's hallucinating, correct? It's giving you information that appears inaccurate and does not exist, correct?
Let me answer. If you want the short answer, incorrect. Okay? Now, let me answer the long answer so you can hear me out on this, please. And please listen.
So it's not a hallucination.
Short
That's what
answer.
you're saying.
It is short answer, but you have to hear it
Cool.
qualified.
Elaborate. Yeah, now go talk as long
I'm
as you
going
want and
to
elaborate.
elaborate. Yes.
Okay.
And, so basically the reason why is, okay, so hallucination does not imply that the model has not synthesized data for you. The model is capable of synthesizing data, correct? Now the question gets turned on you.
Of course it can synthesize, summarize, expand
Okay.
on, etc.
So if it synthesizes, it's based on data which we know comes from the training, right? Let's connect the dotted lines.
No.
Oh, so it's synthesizing data not on its training data. So how is it
What
synthesizing the data?
What I mean by that is that it's giving answers, making links, yes, based on the training data, but it is creating something that does not exist and that is not factually correct, and hence hallucinating, because it's not something that exists. It may be correct if you demonstrate it to be correct. It may be correct if you build out what you're imagining in your mind and you make it a reality. Or create something or write a paper and it becoming some kind of proof that you've elaborated on and got inspired by certain suggestions that are false by ChatGPT, for example. Those are hallucinations. I mean, we just went through the definition. But at the very nature, they're useful hallucinations. These are the kinds of hallucinations I want.
But maybe
Well,
Chris is asking why, what causes the hallucinations and get at the core of that.
Well, Albie, is it not a hallucination? Are you still saying that created data, synthetic data, is not a hallucination, even holistically? Forget 5-7%, like 100%, yeah.
We have to be careful what we're saying here. I'm saying that it's synthesizing its answer to you, okay? It's synthesizing its response. It has nothing to do with the data that...
It's generating its response to me.
That is also
based
correct.
on what I've instructed it. That's what it's doing. And
well,
so the generated
based
answer...
on, you can instruct an artificial intelligence and then it can generate you something entirely different. Do you understand that concept?
Is that hallucination?
Of course it's not hallucination. When Claude told me that I'm not going to follow your instructions, was that a hallucination? Or was it the guideline of Anthropic?
That was probably the guideline.
It's the fucking guideline. I'm talking to the engineer of Anthropic. Okay?
Well, what's the relevance? If you ask it ideas, you've had conversations with ChatGPT, correct?
I've had conversations with ChatGPT, correct.
Okay. And you've spoken about things that you've thought, and I'm sure you have an innovative mind, correct?
It would appear I do.
Okay. And it's generated responses to your innovative points, correct?
Sure. Yes.
Okay. And potentially some of these ideas and innovations are unique to you, correct?
Ideas and
innovations
are unique to me.
Yeah, as in this articulated ideas and thoughts in your mind that you're piecing together. But potentially, some of them are unique to you, correct?
Well, potentially, yes.
Potentially. Okay. And ChatGPT has always produced a response, correct? Generated a response, correct?
Has always generated a response? Well, it's an interesting question. Generally during normal operation, ChatGPT will always give you a response.
So it's always given you a response, correct?
For the sake of the
Whether
conversation, yes.
whether it's an error, whether it's a guideline response, or whether it's an actual generated response to you,
That's
it
what
always
I'm trying to
generates a
tell you,
response.
LB.
Are you so? Is at the heart of the question? Are you saying that ChatGPT can refuse to respond to me?
Well, that's not the heart of the question. What I'm saying
Okay.
is, based on these innovative ideas
It always
and thoughts,
generates something. Sure.
Correct.
the innovative thoughts and ideas that you inject into ChatGPT, it's always generated you a response to these unique requests of yours, correct?
Yeah, you're asking a rhetorical question. Continue.
Okay. Now, those responses that it generates, based on these unique ideas in your mind and the connections and dots that it's making, are you saying those are facts?
Okay, I see what you're asking. Look, AI can tell you a story that has nothing to do with facts. A story you ask for, make up a story about a knight and a princess, and it makes it up.
So it
And of
made up the
course, there's no
story, right?
facts in there. There's no
Yeah,
facts in
exactly.
that, right?
It made it up, right? Those kinds of stories. So if it makes them up, is that hallucination?
Absolutely not. That's a misunderstanding of AI.
So it's not a hallucination.
Misunderstanding of AI.
It's not making up and inventing something. It's not hallucinating.
That's a misunderstanding. You're screwing up the semantics.
I'm screwing up the semantics, eh?
Yes, you absolutely are. You have to be careful.
Okay.
Generating something and synthesize something.
Wait.
Generating
Albie,
something
elaborate.
and synthesize something.
Elaborate on the semantics.
Also, just for a fun little interjection as well, I specifically make my personal projects all hallucinate in different crazy ways because I like chaos theory, and that's like the only thing I will say about like that. But continue with your response now, Albie.
The obvious
I'd love
question,
to hear
the obvious thing that we're talking about is hallucination. You're saying hallucination applies to the story of the knight and the princess that was made up, and that is just completely wrong. That's where the semantics get screwed up.
Wait, what am I talking about, Albie?
I just told you, we just broke down the semantics.
I don't have anything more to say.
My son pulled up like a lawyer and then exited the room. I rest my case, Judge.
It's like I don't know what more to say.
I mean, I guess both of you guys have good points, but it's all opinion because it's like, you know, if I say the sky is blue and you say, okay, the sky is red, and it's like, okay, but I'm colorblind and you believe I'm hallucinating, and it's like, okay, that's an opinion because I see red.
So if I'm going to just say something, it's that I generated a story about the princess and the knight. Was that an unwanted pattern that I got? No, it was a pattern that I wanted. Therefore, it was not a hallucination. Submit that to the court.
Exhibit A.
Exhibit A.
All right. I will examine Exhibit A. I'll be with grave attention.
Real quick, guys.